Thank you for being here, Frankie, and thank you, Maddie, too.
Of course.
I'm really happy to do that with you. I've been seeing a few of your contents both like in different platforms. Maddie, I saw you on TikTok, and Frankie, I saw you on Instagram. You're both fans, but different fans. Maddie, you're a Lando Norris fan, and Frankie, you're Ferrari but Charles most
Yes,
of all fan.
exactly. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
really
You had a good
cool.
weekend.
I had a great weekend. I have a great weekend. I love Lando too, though. My
Yeah.
husband's a huge Lando fan, so we're rooting for like everyone here. I don't know.
I
I love
mean,
that.
we have a soft spot for a lot of them. I feel like,
I
you know,
agree. They're
like
all so amazing. Like it's like 22 drivers. They do something so incredible that no one else does really. So I just appreciate all of them, to be honest.
same. I guess I feel
Yeah,
I'm like kind of I'm trying when I'm watching races to really see the evolution of everyone like during the race. It's a little bit difficult, of course, when
of
you're
course.
like trying to catch up with the midfield and everything. I
Yeah.
had that experience this weekend when my favorite driver was down at 21. So yeah, Oscar Piastri fan here, and I
So
was like,
sorry.
That was a nightmare. I said, "What? When did this happen?" It was terrible.
And all of us are yelling at the screen. I'm like, can we get a replay, please? And we never got a replay. No one
never,
knows.
we
No one
didn't.
knows what happened. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole race, I was here wondering what happened. And you can hear in the highlights, actually, you can hear like Crofty, I don't know, telling,
Yeah.
saying, what happened there to Oscar? I didn't know he had damage. What happened there? And
Yeah.
they never address it
No,
during the
never.
highlight, like never. And then him at the mic of the F1 like reporter saying that he was
Mhm.
sandwiched between the V cobs.
Yep.
And yeah, so. Oscar depression land here. And I
Oh,
Sorry.
was like the whole race,
Very
I was
sorry.
like, oh my God. And
Yeah.
then like yeah, of course Lewis got the penalty and everything. He's my second one. So I was
mm,
like,
me
yeah.
too. This is my second. That was just
I love Lewis.
Yeah. I mean that was deserved. The penalty was deserved, but like
100%.
the whole thing was I mean, if I had a word for that race in overall, that would be unexpected because it was a lot of happy times, but it was a lot of down times. And I mean, even if I loved the outcome, I was kind of frustrated also for other things, which we're going
Of
to talk
course.
about. But for me, that would be like, yeah, very unexpected, but also very surprising overall. What's the general feeling for you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like unexpected and surprised has been my reaction to every race this season, if I'm gonna be honest. Just with like all of the reliability issues every team is having, like even the front
Yeah.
runners, Mercedes now too, McLaren, been done. Like I feel like you think it can't get worse and then it gets worse, if I'm gonna be honest. That's okay. Hey, we're just gonna keep rolling with the punches at this point. Nothing can surprise me, if I'm being
I
honest.
mean, Lando is smiling every weekend.
He
It's
he does not care. He is on cloud nine, world champion land. Like he's like, oh, we're good. We're chilling. I
And it
actually love
makes me so
that.
happy to see that because, like,
Yes.
Lando last year at this time versus Lando this year at this time, I'm like, honestly, I'll take this season just because you
Yeah.
could mentally he's doing a lot better, which
Totally.
I'm fine with. But yeah, I would honestly just say just the same thing, like unexpected surprise just because of all the reliability issues. Like,
Yeah.
I really don't know what to expect going into every race. Like, I genuinely thought Kimmy was gonna win even after Charles passed him. I was like,
Even
I
I
love
thought he
Charles.
was gonna win as
Yeah,
a
it's just
Charles fan.
the Mercedes has been so dominant this season. I was like, okay, like I'm preparing for the battle at some point, and then he was off the track. I felt so bad for him, but yeah,
Totally.
I agree with you. I'm just totally surprised, if I'm gonna be
Mm.
honest, but
Yeah.
happy. I am very happy for Ferrari. They're my second team, so I'm very happy for a double Ferrari podium this season. That made me very happy to see. And yeah, it was just crazy.
Yeah. Frankie,
To
as
be
a Charles fan, yeah, how do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I went into Silverstone like basically saying there's no way Charles is going to even be in the top five or even on the podium because the last 2 years he's been what, P14. So it's like one of his worst tracks. And, we always have hope. I think as a Ferrari fan, like that's the one thing we all have in common is like we are so back. We are, the
Mhm.
cycle. So
The fucking
I'm
cycle.
I'm always like I go into it being like, I think it's gonna be a good race. Especially I thought Hamilton, we all thought that it was his race to take home. In general, I mean, besides like the first lap, I thought it was a pretty like a chilled race. And
Yeah.
when I saw Charles take that P1 right off the bat, I'm like, okay, like we're getting somewhere. But I
Mm.
knew eh, when you see Kimmy coming, I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah.
It's like he'll be on the podium, there's no way. Like around what lap 42, when Kimmy was like, something is wrong, that's when, and you can see my reaction. I film all my reactions. That's when I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna win this thing.
Mm.
So it was exciting. Like
I saw your
obviously,
reaction, yeah.
yeah, like tears start welling up because I'm like, is this actually gonna happen today? Like, and you're still like, I don't know, but um, it was it was a fun journey, I
That
thought.
was exciting at the same time very scary because like oh yeah, even if I was frustrated, like I wasn't quite catching what was going to happen, and I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't happy enough. I felt like when it happened, and I realized a few hours later that it's been 2 years that he didn't win, and I didn't even realize that because for me, like Charles is always kind of up there, but like,
Totally.
and so in my mind, it wasn't that long. So I wasn't happy enough, I felt like, and then I was like, wait, actually, that's
I'm still
huge.
I'm still in disbelief. Like I was in work today and everyone knows I love him. So, it's
Mm.
immediate like you had the best weekend ever. I'm like, you know what? I'm still in disbelief. Like, did that actually happen? But we're here. Like Ferrari is fighting. So
I had what? Sorry, I cut you.
no, I was just saying it's an exciting season, I think, for Ferrari fans.
Of course, because we were like going in with Mercedes and like yeah, we saw Ferrari had like a lot of pace and a lot of opportunities, but Mercedes was so quick at the end at the first race of the season that we were like,
Mhm.
okay, yeah, we going to
It's
get like
over. Yeah.
a George Kimi fight and that's it.
Yep.
And then we had the amazing performance that Hamilton did. So quite unexpected. So good season. I think we there's much more to see from Ferrari. But I had like a very lots of doubts at one moment because I was like, oh no, Ferrari again. The it's so over. It's coming when the safety car happened with. I think there was like the VST with Audi with Nico on the side, and this
Hmm.
one in particular, it was before Max, I think. This one,
Hmm. Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, no, fuck it. That's when is coming, and it's going to end it this
It's gonna
way.
be
He's going
over.
to overtake, like the sprint race when Hamilton has no fucking battery, and he says it on the radio, like he's going to fly past me. I have no battery. He knows, and then it's Kimi winning. And so I was like, yeah, this is going to happen again. And so it did not, obviously, because also Kimi had issues, but Max
Yeah.
happened with the safety car again. I was like, yo,
And then
that's the end of
shocking.
it.
I know.
And yeah, so I had my doubts at that moment, but I was like pretty relieved when that did not happen. But can we talk about that ending? Like, what the fuck? I think we kind of all were a little bit frustrated, but like, I mean, I'm happy for Charles because it obviously was in his favor too, but like that could have been a 1-2, but like a 1-2, 1-2.
Hmm.
And I didn't get the Ferrari decision here. I was like pretty
Yeah.
frustrated about that. But it's still, a double podium, so it's really good, but kind of bittersweet, like Jensen Button said,
For
but
sure. And like, if only Ferrari's strategy was actually correct. I know everyone is like, why did they pit Hamilton? Why did they pit Hamilton?
yeah,
It was a correct strategy. It's frustrating that we couldn't see the future in that moment because the 1-2 was right there if we only would have known. I think for me, like selfishly, yes, it's not an exciting end to the race. And like, yes, Charles won at the end of the day, but like we did want that one lap shootout. And I think the tease was that it said safety car ending on the last lap, and then
yeah,
he
yeah.
didn't go to the pit. So everyone is like, Well, we didn't get what you promised us, you know. I
Yes.
understand why they didn't. Um, but I'm still, we always want like the drama of the last lap shootout, of course, but
I mean, when you hear the building up, specifically, like even on French TV, like he was like building it up, like it was one of the, most exciting Grand Prix of like a British Grand Prix ever. And I was like, that's going to be good. And yeah, you're just so frustrated. It's like, oh no, fuck, what's no. But then
yeah.
yeah, again, this is FIA. I mean, we had fun stuff during that weekend. We had that Lego race too. So, I
Oscar,
mean,
what his Instagram caption, he
Oh my
killed
God.
me.
that's my driver. I like him because of that too. Like
Do Lego
give
points
him
count?
give him Lego points. I'm going to do a petition. Give him those Lego points right now. No, like I love that he has that, also that he's like kind of taking it that way too. It's kind of I love it. No, people, have some humor with that. And he knows that, I mean, as Lando, they know that they aren't in a really good place right now, but they try, their best to improve that. Like, I think it's like you said, Maddie, like a little bit also like this with McLaren. Like, there's always something happening, but at the same time, they're finding a little bit of pace. Then the day after it's gone, yeah, that's a little bit frustrating for me. But I think McLaren, I kind of evolving in the right
There's
direction.
slivers of hope. There's definitely slivers of hope. When their car is good, you see Lando and he is strong. So I'm holding out hope for McLaren. I feel like
Yeah. As a Lando fan, Maddie, like, how do you feel about this weekend? The grandstand? Do you have FOMO?
Ugh, don't even talk to me about the phone.
Sorry.
I am going next year. I literally like posted, I was like, I'm holding myself accountable. I will be there next year because the FOMO was so real. But I thought it was funny because after the race, he said like seeing the Lando stand was better than like winning. And he was joking, of course, like
Mm.
winning a championship. But I just think it's so cool, even if you compare the stand from this year to last year, to see how much it has grown and how he posted like everyone come in Floro on race day, and the fans really did. Everyone was in Floro. It was like you could literally spot it from a mile away and
Yeah.
just it's super cool to think of like how much support your driver gets now, especially after last season, since it was a little bit polarizing for him. He was receiving a lot of hate last season,
Mm.
and so to see like him get the support he deserves and like see him feeling validated by that was honestly super good. But like in terms of McLaren in general, I mean, you can see like the way Lando reacts whenever reporters are like, "You're definitely up there with Mercedes," and he's like, we're not. Like they're definitely in the midfield right now, and it's about keeping that expectation. I do think sometimes they have really great weekends, like we saw in Miami. Like they had a stellar weekend, but then the next weekend wasn't it Canada where that was just a shit show. But so yeah, I just think it is like that teeter, like that seesaw right now that we're on. But you can tell they're making improvements, and the fact that both drivers have so much faith in the team, I think should reassure fans enough. Like, sure, it's not fun to see your favorite team not doing well right now, but the faith that the team has in each other, I think, is really reassuring. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's at least one reason I've always loved McLaren is their teamwork aspect and stuff. So I personally am not losing hope. I have a feeling like we may be able to pull back towards the last half of the season and see some really good races from both drivers. But I'm in the Ferrari right now. I just gotta hope, But yeah, that's just how I'm
Yeah.
feeling about
I
it all.
think the struggling the most with the reliability, of course, like it's always the problem, right? And Kimi had like it's been like the third reliability issues also.
Yeah.
So the Mercedes engine is kind of the point here too. I'm hoping that Spa will be a good weekend. But it's kind of similar to Silverstone and like the harvesting of energy and everything. So kind of going to be a little bit difficult, but we'll see. Oscar wasn't that optimistic, but we'll see. Like you said about the faith, which I think is a really good point. Like, of course, it's always very reassuring to see the chemistry between, of course, the team and the team and the drivers, and like, of course, you can take that for example. You can take Charles for example, who has this undying faith in Ferrari when everyone is like, what are you doing? Like, we, I think I saw that joke about he heard resign not when he
Not,
heard
not
he heard
re-signed.
resign when yeah he was supposed to be resigned, and like but actually I think I talked about it before, and I think this win also is changing a little bit of speeches that people had before, because there was this speech going around with Hamilton performing better in big,
It's the
than
largest
Leclerc.
gap. Yeah, it's the largest gap between Charles and any other Ferrari teammate for him.
Yeah. So obviously lots of speeches, lots of potential talk, again, lost potential and everything. So that win means, of course, a lot to him. He said it, but also to lots of Ferrari fans that kind of was on the verge of maybe losing that light of hope, of being like, that's Ferrari again and again and again. So I think it's always a bit like that with Ferrari. You always have that kind of big door opening at a moment that you never thought it would be possible. Barcelona was this also for Lewis and for Ferrari. So I think the faith is that Lewis and Charles are putting into Ferrari right now, because they're kind of similar. Like, we're not talking enough about Lewis being very, 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 very grateful and very talkative about Ferrari.
I do
So
think there is like an interesting thing happening there with Lewis being part of the team. I know last year he's washed, da da da, all the things. I mean, it came out that he was injured all year, right? So he
mm,
couldn't have driven to his full potential.
yeah.
Now that he's back, I think that Charles seeing Lewis perform so well is taking this as a learning opportunity. He has an amazing opportunity to learn from pretty much one of the greatest F1 drivers that exists. And with Lewis's passion and Charles's passion as well for Ferrari, I think Charles is honestly learning a lot from Lewis. And I think we saw that this past weekend too. Charles said, I changed something philosophical about the way I drive the car.
Mhm.
And that has to do with his learnings from Lewis. So I think there's going to be some interesting dynamics happening within that team, especially with this new change. And I'm really curious to see how the rest of the season pans out for both of them.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, when I about the speeches before, there was so many people talking about Charles being not so happy with Lewis, because, very frustrated because when the Monaco crash happened, there was this pit stop story about, pitting Lewis before and everything, or pitting him after Lewis and everything. So there was this not rivalry, but people saying that he wasn't so happy with how the team was focusing on Lewis, which I think was false a little bit. Like, he was just, messing around with that information. People were just messing around with it. So it's kind of a really good counterpart and opposites of this speech, which I didn't really believe in. So um, I'm really also happy, yeah, to find this team, this partnership as those two drivers
Totally.
being like that also and learning from each other. And of course, like you said, Charles learning a lot from Lewis. So yeah, I'm excited to see what's going to happen next in Spa specifically. So uh, really good on that part. Um, Another point that I wanted to talk about. Um, I'm going to tell you a sentence and you're going to tell me who said it. I think obviously, because it's obviously like, who said, honestly, I'm just looking forward to go home and nothing about Formula One.
Do, 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 do.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so that there was that too. Mac's situation is obviously a little bit, complicated right now.
Do we want to
And
talk about the rumors?
the rumors about
The-
him going to McLaren, this is not happening, girl.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
No.
Oh,
You
oh,
don't think
oh,
so either?
I'm throwing tables. I'm throwing punches. I'm throwing tables and everything.
I
Like,
have a feeling it might happen.
you have a feeling that might happen. Why would Zach Brown and Andrea would go around telling everyone, we're so happy, it's going so well, we're so happy right now.
Zach is going to say whatever the people want to hear. He's not going to say what's actually going
Of
on
course
behind
he's
the
not gonna
scenes.
say, but like, would
I just
you?
feel like if Jos Verstappen is coming at Red Bull so strongly, and we've had two very, in the entire season for Max has been honestly like, what is going on, you know? I just feel like he's so over it that he might want something new. I can't imagine him in anything in another team besides Red Bull. I think it's crazy,
Yeah.
but I do have a feeling that like silly season is upon us.
Would he change that? I don't know. At that point in his career, when he says he wants maybe to do something else, would he change teams in Formula One? Like at that
I don't
point
think
in
he's
his
leaving
career,
Formula One. I don't think he's going to leave Formula One. I think he
I
loves it
don't,
too much.
no, I don't, I'm not meaning now, but like this change in particular feels so enormous. And yeah, I have a hard time believing it. I mean, I understand why. And according to the situation right now, regarding what happened, regarding the way he says things and how unhappy he is with not only the not only the car, but the decision making. When he says like, if it would be up to me, I would have started in the pit lane, or
Hmm.
and saying that he basically, yeah, he's just so frustrated with the team, and I've never seen him like that. I know he has this character, this, very strong, and of course, like, reputation of speaking up when a lot of people like just, lay low. Um, but of course it feels very less tension there, and of course it's a reason to leave. But yeah, the three options are Mercedes. They say Ferrari, but it's not an option for me. It's Mercedes and McLaren for me. But like, no, I don't want to think about it. I'm sorry. Because that means, because we all know Lando is not going
Lando's
anywhere.
not going anywhere.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's either the switch,
Ugh.
but imagine just like this switch of Oscar going to Red Bull and Max going to McLaren. But that's that's
It would be
insane in my
crazy.
head. That's
Yeah,
I
crazy.
it
would,
would.
I just would be so interested to see that dynamic. Yeah,
I
I can't
mean,
even
yeah,
imagine.
but of course, I'm like, I don't want the Mac Weber curse to fall upon Oscar Piastri, like the Red Bull kind of, cycle, like,
I
and
know.
that was like, no, but listen, we'll
It's
see.
it's
I,
interesting too because Isaac is really doing, I think, very well
yeah,
in the second seat. That it's funny people are saying the curse actually passed over to Max and not to Isaac. But
exactly.
yeah,
Like,
we'll
I
see.
mean,
I feel something is brewing. I don't know. Maybe it's not he's switching, but I feel a
I
change is
don't know.
needed.
There's changes going to be happening for sure. Because I
Yeah,
just think I had more hope that it wasn't going to happen as a McLaren fan because I love Lando and Oscar. Like,
of
I'm a
course.
McLaren fan. But after the whole IndyCar situation that happened yesterday, I don't know if you guys have kept up with that. Like,
yes,
it
yeah,
was very similar. Like, up until the announcement, they were like, Christian's still very much like Lundgaard's very still much on the table to be on McLaren. Obviously, he wasn't. They were just saying that because they came out the next day who was going to be on their team upcoming roster. So that's why whenever now Zach Brown is saying like, don't have to worry, like we love Lando, I'm like, it's again like he's probably just saying it to save face right now. So I don't know. It's weird because like Max is a hothead, so sometimes he says things like at the start of the season he was going to retire, and then he was like, no, I'm not going to. Like. And so now with all this happening, it's like, is he actually going to commit to that, or is he just like feeling a little bit hot-headed with everything going on? So there's that aspect of it. It's just, I really am 50-50 right now. I genuinely don't know if they're gonna do the switch or not. Like at first I was like, it's not gonna happen, but now I'm like, okay, there's definitely a chance it might, and I just have to have that opportunity in my mind. So if it does happen, I can accept it easier. But I mean, I
I,
really hope it doesn't, if I'm being honest.
I
I think
won't, I won't accept it easier, and I will be all flame, and I will burn
If we get the news,
F1.
we have to hop right back on and talk about it.
no, literally,
Yeah,
I
if that happens, we're doing an episode again.
Another one.
And I'm
yeah.
like, I'm just going to lash out the whole way and being like, oh fuck. Actually the announcement everyone was talking about, like everyone was like, it's either Indy or F1, blah blah. But everyone was like, okay, so maybe I thought it was about Horner coming back because he was on in Silverstone, and I was like,
Yeah.
is it linked to that? I was like, "Ugh," of course, but you know, question also like regarding the Mercedes also situation right now because uh Kimi's being very impressive at the moment. I had a few conversations about him, and I think a few of us had a little bit of the same feeling, being like, it's not that I don't believe that he's like really talented, but I always felt like something different when it was at the start of the season coming maybe um to the last two races. I was like, yeah, it's not clicking to me. It was like that's yeah, that should be so impressive. He's so fast, but I wasn't feeling it till maybe that race where I was like seeing him struggle so much and being like, I can try, I want that point, like I can go for that point. But at first I was like, yeah, a little bit more laying into George part. And I was like, yeah, I'm rooting for George. So of course he had like a lot of difficulties also with the team. So I was
I love
wondering,
I love George. He's actually one of my top drivers. People
hmm,
say I look like him, which is so funny to me. Anyways,
I see it.
actually you have a little bit of that. I
I get it all
wasn't
the
like,
time. I think it's hysterical. And I'm like, I love George, so I take that as a compliment. But, I think it's interesting. He was so the favorite this season. And I kind of feel like that pressure got to him. He was amazing in Australia and he's doing great considering, but I find it I think the team dynamic is very interesting, especially considering, George and Toto have a great relationship, but I feel that the relationship between Toto and Kimmy is so nurturing and so different from,
hmm,
previous years. And
yeah.
Kimmy is so young. He wants it so bad that,
Mm.
you know, it's almost a little too much on
Yeah.
his side. I think mentally, if Kimmy is able to, get in that right zone, it's his. But if there's any sort of wavering, especially because he is so young, second year, all of those things, then I think George has a very high potential to creep back up and take it. But I don't know, that team dynamic is very interesting
Hmm.
right now.
Yeah, George like said some stuff after the race, and he was like, if I'm being honest, I didn't deserve standing where I stood like
Hmm.
today. And
Does nothing gets P2.
that's literally what happened. But I do believe that he's talented, and I had actually it wasn't one of my favorites like for a long time, and not that I didn't like him, but I wasn't very fond of him. And this season it really changed. Not only because there was this weird dynamic with Kimi and him being like left aside in some, ways, like the way they were treating him, sometimes in the way they posted things. But he grew on me, of course, also with his determination. And I think he also has that kind of potential man kind of thing, like that we talk about a lot with Charles, and I think he has that.
Hmm.
But um I think that after that race, he was like, if it keeps going that way, I'm not going to fight for the championship. Like, I know that. I'm very aware of that. And I find it really cool that he said it that way and that he just, like, is so, like, I mean, from the start, even in press conference, he's, like, very humble on that he, and I think you're right when you say, like, it got to him because I think there's a huge change in the way he's speaking about the whole thing because I can feel it. That's why maybe I like it. I like him more because I think that personality changed a little bit. I'm not maybe talking maturity. I don't really know if it's that, but I think it's a little bit. But
George is definitely not everyone's cup of tea. For me, I actually was not a big fan of him, at first. And I think he's kind of like fine wine a little bit. You have to get his sarcasm, and he complains a lot, what F1 driver doesn't. But once you kind of understand, I think he has a very British mentality as well, and they're very sarcastic. And you know, I think George, yeah, I think he's a pretty interesting character. And I feel like I have a better understanding of him, especially through this season. We're seeing a bit some new glimpses, I think, that are very
Yes.
interesting.
I do
Um,
think that too, yeah. Yeah, I think there's a shift in that personality of George. And like you said, it's also, I think English also humor and English character can be also quite different. I think Lando is like the most sarcastic guy also. So I think it's different. Um Maddie, what do you think about maybe George? What's your effect here and your
Yeah,
take on
I
that?
mean, I've honestly, ever since I got into F1, I've loved George from like the get-go. I feel like I like Lando, who's very sarcastic, and the way he words things can be misinterpreted. And I feel like George is kind of the same way sometimes. And I
Yeah.
just, again, I kind of clicked with his sarcasm right from the get-go. Yeah, I just wish everyone I feel like a lot of people have been dogging on him this season. I wish all of them could see that clip of how you mentioned. I listened to that interview after the recent race and mentioning his pace and how he really needs to figure out what's going on with him in the car and like how he felt like more satisfied after Canada, even though he did not finish the race because his pace was so good and he was proud of how he did that weekend and how he felt with the car versus this weekend he wasn't as satisfied, which I was like, I feel like I've never heard a driver speak on that, at least from my experience of being more satisfied with a do not finish.
Mm,
But I think it speaks truth to how he's very self-aware of something's not right and he really needs to like lock in basically and work with his team and figure out those little changes to make this car work for him. It's
yeah.
very similar to how Lando was last year. I mean, Oscar was winning all those races back to back and
mhm.
he he kept saying, except he kind of took a different approach, but he just wasn't clicking with the car. But once he finally made those changes and clicked with it, I mean, we saw him excel, and so I mean, I love Kimmy, and I think it'd be so cool to see him win his first championship this year. But also George has like, he's been very much loyal to Mercedes and how he's always wanted to win a championship with them. So I think he'd be more than deserving as well. And so I think it'd be so cool if we did get to see him click with the car this season and come back and just take the championship. I think that'd be so cool. But also, I do hope that Lewis and possibly Charles now stick up there. I think Lewis has become very consistent this season. Like he's closing the gap, and I mean, I just keep hoping keeps closing it, and he's like the max of this season. And we just have a fight up until the end. I think that would be so cool to see as well, just because, yeah, I think he's proving how
Mm,
consistency matters more than anything. Sure, he only has one win this season, but he's right behind George now if you think about it points wise, and it just is
Yep.
because he's being consistent every single race, and
mm.
it
The
just again,
number
yeah.
the number 8 lives in my head 24/7.
Mhm.
Me too. And he's the
It's
only
in there.
driver this year to complete every single lap now.
Yeah.
Yes, that's impressive.
Knock on
Yeah.
wood, we're not gonna, not gonna
True.
jinx
True.
it.
Like you said about consistency. Like this is crazy. And I think obviously the changing of the engineer,
Huge.
working with Santi is a really, really good change for him. Like you can really like I sometimes get myself hype. I try to motivate myself into checking the radios, not maybe like the whole way, but like a bit of them just to have a clear vision of how they communicate. And I was curious about this race with, Santi when he really was trying to make him the most patient possible, even if I know that Lewis is kind of, a really patient guy when it comes also to, he's kind of trusting the process guy and being kind of methodical in where we do things, when, and everything. And I felt like he was being a little bit impatient in that race, actually. And like Santi was trying to tell him that he was doing a good job and everything. And that was rare hearing this from his last engineer. And I was like, so you can really feel the change. I mean, obviously in Barcelona, everyone was like, yeah, we needed that change.
Chills, chills for all of those radios in Barcelona. I mean, what a difference. And just, you know, now's
No,
the time. Keep pushing. Like, it just,
Amazing. And you could feel kind of the same timing with the hammer time thing. You could really feel the timing was good and that it was being put, he was telling him to push at the right moments and that he was saying the right stuff. Like everything was in place. All the stars aligned. Like, and not just
And just
because he was,
so positive too. I
Oh,
think that's the best thing is just
yes.
seeing the
yeah,
positivity between the two of them is just that's what Lewis really needed.
Because I feel
exactly.
like Lewis is his biggest critique, which is he's my second favorite driver, and because I just relate to him so much, I feel like I have a very similar mentality to Lewis, where you can tell he's his biggest critique. Like you can tell him
Mm.
what he's done wrong, but he's already thought that
Hmm.
since he did it over and over and over again. And so I think changing to Santi this season was a big difference. And it just again is proof that the team behind the driver is what helps them win races. It's not just the driver. I think a lot of times fans pin things just like on the driver not performing as well, but there's so many factors that go into it. Like you don't think, oh, changing their race engineer would make, I think, such a big difference for him, but you can tell it's making a difference. I love Santi. He reminds me a little bit of Bono, how Bono was for him. So, oh,
Totally.
yeah, I just again the radio messages that whole race were, and even this past race, like you mentioned, there's a specific one where he was like, "You got this, just like keep pushing." After you got that 5 second penalty, and I was like, "This is what we needed last season too." Like, oh,
Yeah.
it's just so good to see. I love their connection.
Like you said about the positivity, like Frankie, and being completely optimistic. Like, I mean, of course, you have to acknowledge when it's shitty, but like during your communication with your driver trying to get to the end, you need to really, really tap into that positive side of things. And like, because everything can happen, like, and so you need to the last minute being very in that state. Um, and so, yeah, I kind of really, really felt that. And after, of course, you can be a little bit negative, like Lando saying that you can't win anything in the pit lane, right? So that radio was fun. No. But yeah, overall, I think good things happened that we can look forward to in Spa. Kind of very curious about that track because it's one of my favorites. I think lots of speed corners, high speed corners. I love high speed corners. Lots of good battles there. Um, so yeah, oh, one thing we didn't talk about, but I think that also impressed me, and I don't think we're talking enough about them, because we talk a lot about Kimi being this young prodigy. Um, Arvid is doing amazing, and Liam
Mhm.
Lawson too. Like this
So
is
incredible. And I think it was like, no, I'm mixing it up with Isaac, but like just seeing their performance even qualies is
no girl. It was four in Q2. Liam Lawson. It was
yeah,
four in the standing in Q2, and I was like, what?
yeah,
Above the McLarens. And I was like, wow,
yeah,
my God. So
yeah,
that was a really good lap. And Arvid, I think, was six at some point.
yeah.
And double points for this weekend. That was crazy. Like, of course, I know that Oscar was just right under them, and that could have been Oscar, but like, and I know that Liam Lawson was the fucking reason for that downfall.
A little
But
kiss.
mm, mm,
Liam
I
always
swear.
finds himself in those situations, I feel like though.
Always.
Swear to God, Liam is somewhere near a crash all the
Very
fucking time.
aggressive driver.
He
Yeah.
is.
He
I,
really goes for it.
I have nothing against him, and like I actually hyping like he really did a good job. So I can admit that for sure, and he's really pushing right here. But like yeah,
Mm.
he's a lot of the time he's like close to, not a crash, but he almost killed Isaac. Did you see this like moving under braking thing? That was
Oh, I
crazy.
did see that. I was crazy.
It was the wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but overall, I'm really proud of Ovid for his age and for, his rookie season. This is crazy,
Mm.
honestly.
I mean, even when he came in at Australia, you're always like, oh, the only rookie on the grid. You don't really have high expectations. And then didn't he score points in Australia?
He
And
did.
You
yeah,
Mhm.
did.
it was like, what is going on?
Yes, that was crazy.
And I think, wasn't
Incredible.
it that same race, or it might have been a different one, where like it was kind of giving similar to Kimmy this race, where he was like, I just want to try to get 1 point, where he was going like battling another driver, and they're going back and forth. And he was like, just one more push, guys. Like, let me try one more time and see if I
Mhm.
can nail it this time. Like, it's just, I love the ambitious energy of whenever you get a rookie on the grid, especially like Arvid. He just performs so well, and he's so like, I mean, I don't know the guy, but he just seems so like confident almost and level-headed in the car. Like he just has got it
Yeah.
right away almost. And I mean,
And
his performance last year
he
showed that.
fully manifested his way into Formula One as well. Like
Yeah.
he knew there's not a world where I'm not going to be on this grid. And
Mm.
yeah, he made it happen. Yeah,
Oh,
he has that mentality, I think.
that I'll see you in 5 years lives rent-free in my head when I learned from when I first learned that, and I was like, I think I replayed the clip like a few times because I was like, that's crazy shit. Like the fact that actually he's here in 5 years, and yeah, like you said about the way he's confident in the car and everything, Maddie. I think I think it was yeah this race he was saying to his engineer, can you tell him to go faster, like to be quicker, because he
Mhm.
was right behind Liam that wasn't on the same pace. But he wasn't insisting on going past him, but he was like, "Can you tell him to go faster because I know my speed right now." And so it's the right balance, I think, of it for rookie to be humble but very confident and at the same time, knowing that he's not the first here driver in like big, parenthesis, but yeah, the good balance between that okay, I have to humble me, like I'm not, there yet, but I know I'm quick and I know my potential. So yeah, he knows his place, but at the same time he knows he can go higher. So that's the good energy here, I think. So yeah, I think I posted this, but he's going more and more in my top drivers for this because really good character. He's a chill guy. He loves fashion. Loves like also the personality wise. I think he's my kind of guy. I love it.
If any driver that manifests uses that manifestation, I'm like, we're gonna get along great. I'm a big manifester, so
Yeah,
I love
Yeah,
Arvid.
definitely. I think that works. I think really if you
it
really
does.
act like it already happened. So Ovid is that amazing example, and like I mean a lot of them are because if you really stick to it, like that can happen if you put in the work. Like Charles would say from the meme that he posted, hard work pays off. Oh, that was really fun from him. I didn't even know. I think I could hear his engineer telling him that, Brian, and then him repeating it. And I sent it to one of my best friends, being like, "Oh, that's a beautiful quote." And then I see the freaking meme. And I'm like, I didn't know. Blah blah blah.
So
Oh,
good. It's so good. I mean, Charles is chronically online and he's a very memeable
yeah.
driver. Like
Yeah.
we'll never forget Banana Leclerc ever.
Priceless.
Priceless.
History book, literally.
History book.
Yeah.
We love it. Oh, on that note, what are your hopes and dreams for Spa? Maybe do you have predictions? What are we manifesting for Spa?
I haven't since we have a two, it's not a double, right? So
Yeah.
usually I like to take this week and just have an F1 free. I'm just going to
Yeah.
sit and see
Okay.
Leclerc win, and I'll start thinking about it next week.
Fair
But
enough.
you know, I feel like it's going to be a bit of a toss up between a Lewis and a Kimmy.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
that's my inclination
Mm-hmm.
for this one.
I'm towards that kind of inclination too.
Well, my delusional manifestation, non-logical based, is I'm manifesting another Miami moment where I get a double McLaren podium. Is
Love
what
it.
I'm I manifest it every weekend. You just have to, you know?
Fair
A little
enough.
part of me just has to hope and pray. And then I hope the third driver up there would be Lewis. I have to say Lewis. But also, no, I
Yes.
really want George. I want George up there again. I want him to feel better at the car. So I'm gonna lock in George.
Okay.
George, Oscar, and Lando.
Fair
That'll be
enough.
my manifesting podium.
I would have loved like a Lando scar podium, of course.
Oh,
But
please.
like Spa is Oscar's favorite track, so of course I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
manifesting for him to be in the front. But like with that car, that's
Yeah.
we'll see. You know,
Again, logistical parts aside, just pure delusion here. That
pure
is my
delusion. I love being
yeah.
delulu. This is my lifestyle. So
This is
as a
I'm pulling an
delulu,
Arvid right now, okay? This is my manifestation for the weekend.
not fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm also craving like a rainy race. Like last year at Spa
Oh,
was pouring rain. And so I'm like, can we please get like some chaos? I would love
Yes,
another
it's
I need to
true.
see how
race.
these cars do in the rain finally, because like there's been like
Totally.
extensive rain, but not like full rain. I want to
Mm.
see. I'm so curious. We still haven't seen that yet. I
We
think
I
about
haven't.
mean,
that.
we're going to have a lot of high temperatures right now in France
Yeah.
and Belgium, like for but like a lot, I think to 35 degrees of 36. So it might have like a bit of storm after. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe a little bit of chaos because I know that Lewis is good under the rain. So
Hmm.
So is Max. I would love to see,
yeah.
it would be nice to see him up there a little bit.
I agree.
Yes.
Actually, yeah. I take my statement back. I want to.
You see,
But it's
we can
hard. You want
choose.
every
We
driver to do
can
well.
choose. We
Yeah,
can choose
literally.
because
I
we're
want them
like,
all.
well, yeah, we have a soft spot for all of them. And we're like, oh, he needs to be back, on that podium. I was like, yeah, but anyway, lots of good things, I hope. Well, we'll see. Manifesting a lot of good things. Thank you to you two for being there
Thank
with me. It was
you.
a really
Yeah,
great
thank you.
talk. It was
Love
a
this.
really great
Love
talk.
getting to yap about things like this. I don't
Always.
often get to in my area. I don't have that many F1 friends to like talk to in person. It's all like online with content creation.
Yes.
Something like this is always fun, being able to like
Yeah.
speak to
Yes.
I'm
fellow fans. I love it.
And big shout out to women in this space too.
Yes.
Like
louder.
come on, like I feel like it's so amazing, this sport. I'm so happy that it's become so big with
Mm,
women in motorsport. And I want to champion that. It's one of my platforms, is like
of course.
women can love cars.
Yes.
Like, come
Duh.
on.
Yes.
Of
That was
course
like
we can love cars.
That was like my biggest pride when I was on Team Priceless Miami, is we were an all-girl group. There's 4 women, and our team captain Christina Rocchi was there. Kian unfortunately wasn't there, but I was like, honestly, it's fine because it's all the girls showing up. We're doing all of the content, like
Yep.
making this look good. It's just really the women do need to be.
No,
We need
definitely.
to be
Yeah,
appreciated,
certainly.
and it's
You're an example of that. That's why also like I'm inviting a lot of women because I want this
Love it.
highlight, and this content too. I had some men too. I mean, my last episode with Ishan, which, was the Remember Who You Are guy.
So cool.
And that was fun. But yeah, that's why I'm inviting a lot of women. Of course, I feel of course very comfortable, and I think that deserves to be highlighted. And yeah, I loved your content, and I hope that you keep going. And I'll keep in touch with you. Of course, I'll tell you when it's up. Also, this episode. And yeah, I'm wishing you the best.
Amazing.
yes, lovely to
Thank
meet
you
you
so much.
both.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was so nice to meet you. Really, thank you. Thank you for being here with me. And I hope that you enjoyed the whole thing.
It was so fun, genuinely.
Absolutely.
Thanks for inviting and hosting us. This has been
Of
great. And I can't
course.
wait to see your podcast grow. This is like it's so fun to
Thank
So
watch.
you. Yeah,
exciting.
it's really, really cool. I really love that. Having like lots of new opinions every week or every race. That's really nice. That's the best part of it, and you get to meet a lot of new people. So that's also the great part of it. And if ever when this season ends, when silly season is done, and that we have a news, I will do a new episode with you if we have that max changing team thing.
But we're not going to because we're delusional and it's not it's
Exactly.
not gonna happen. Nothing's
The
gonna
two
happen. It's gonna be
McLaren fans don't want it to happen, and I'm like all for it. I'm like, let's
fun.
Really great note for that end for that episode. Thank you again, girls, and have a nice rest of your day because it's day for you.
Yes. Well, have a lovely rest of your evening.
Thank
get
AKA
some
you.
rest.
early morning now, but
Yeah.
I'm just going to sleep. It's 1 a.m.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sleep well. Good
Thank
dreams.
you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye bye.